It wasn't easy, but the Warriors will take the dub, no doubt about it. No doubt about that as they complete a 6-1 homestand here, the season-long 7-game homestand. But the big story is Stephen Curry with the pelvic contusion. He got injured late in the third quarter. We'll have an update on that hopefully a little bit later in the program. But they do get the win, surviving against the young Toronto Raptors. And we'll talk all about it here on Toyota Warriors Postgame Live with the Hall of Famer Chris Mullin, NBA champion Festus Ezeli. I am Bonte Hill. The defense tightened up down the stretch, but there's no doubt the big headline is what's going on with Stephen Curry.
Yeah, you never want to lose Steph Curry, especially not that way. The back is something that has been bothering him of late. And the Warriors just got Steph back. So, you have to watch out for that. Steph is the guy who gets the offense going for the Warriors. Obviously, he's the guy this whole team is built around. So you just want to watch that and you wait for the MRI and see what happens with Steph.
Yeah, that was a hard fall. All you can do now is hope and pray that Steph is healthy.
No doubt about that as the Warriors won their 9th game in their last 10 tries. They improved to 7-1 in clutch games with Jimmy Butler aboard here. Now 16-2 overall with Jimmy Butler suits up here. The defense down the stretch, because it was ugly offensively, including Jimmy Butler. He went 1 for 11 from the field in the fourth quarter, but the defense made all the right plays. Draymond Green, Moses Moody, Jimmy Butler were timely blocked shots, and that's what saved them tonight against Toronto.
Well, Toronto dominated the paint tonight. 58 points in the paint to 30 for the Warriors. And the Warriors countered that from the three-point line. 19 threes. You got 6 threes from your big man couldn't post. You got 5 threes from Draymond Green, 3 from Brandon Pajemski, and they just kept firing from the three-point line. But to me, the biggest plays of the game were defensive. Jimmy Butler with a huge block at the end of the game. Jimmy is a winner. He tried to find a way. He had a triple-double tonight. Not the best shooting night for him, but he found a way to get his teammates going, and that ultimately got them the win.
Yeah, timely stops, because the Raptors did shoot 56% from the field, 42 from 3, but they got timely stops. That was an incredible block by Jimmy Butler at the end of the game there. And then the stat that they've really started to dominate is the points off turnovers. 30-18, a plus 12. And as Fezzi said, from the three-point line, they dominate. So the points off turnovers and made threes won this game for the Warriors.
You talk about made threes. How about Draymond Green going 5 of 14 from the three-point line, 21 points, 18 coming to the first half, and he stopped by with Fitzibuki inside Chase.
Well, Draymond Green joins us courtside. 21 points, a gritty win. You guys did it with defense again. The mental toughness of this team was on display tonight.
Absolutely. They hit a lot of shots. They were moving around offensively, pressuring defensively. But we stayed the course. They went on their run the third quarter. We gave up another lead, but we found a way, and that's what's most important to get this getaway game.
Talk about the range and your approach. Last game against the Bucks, you shut down Giannis. You only shoot it 6 times. That's what the game needed. Impact winning that way. Tonight, the 21 points, the 14 threes. That's what the game needed, plus your defense. Talk about your approach to these games, just diagnosing games. Whatever the game needs, you're willing to do it.
Just trying to be whatever I need to be for my team. If that's aggressive offensively, that's aggressive. The way they were guarding tonight, they were trying to take Steph away. They were muddying up the game, and they left me open. So I was going to shoot it till the wheels fall off. And, the other night, I didn't think, that it was a game that I necessarily needed to be aggressive offensively. I needed to focus more defensively. And, I think I did a good job of that tonight. Bringing what the team need on the offensive end. But it's whatever my team need is what I'm going to do.
Now, Draymond, my favorite play is an odd one. You missed a corner 3, and you sprinted 94 feet and saved a layup on the other end. I couldn't believe 23 went that far. I thought someone else was back defensively, but it was you.
Well, I saw Baji take off, and I saw Shed look, and he thought it was open. So I didn't slow down, but I didn't want to give myself up and let him know that I was getting back. So as soon as he threw it, I sprinted a little bit faster and was able to get the steal.
But you've embraced leadership really your whole career, but just talk about the way you're talking to Quentin Post and the way you're talking to Buddy Hill at the end of the play, the leadership that goes into a game like this where you're trying to make all these little mental adjustments here and there. What are you saying to these guys during a tough game like this where you're just trying to get guys to keep their head, and Quentin Post with the play of the game, getting the crowd involved there? What'd you think about that?
Man, QP, Buddy, those guys, they've never had the opportunity to play at the highest level, and I know what lies ahead. And so I'm just trying to be a little tougher on these guys over the course of these last 12, 13 games so they know what's to come. We're going to need those guys. Both of those guys shoot the ball really well, so we're going to need them come down the stretch. But it's the little things that they have to understand. When you get into a playoff series, you can't have small mistakes. Like, you can't have game plan, discipline mistakes. And so I'm on those guys about that, as I know, and few weeks, it gets really real.
You've had some great defensive tag team partners. You're the elite defender of your generation. I think of you and Bogut, but you and Jimmy Butler, the defensive chemistry and camaraderie and watching you two kind of run things, you got to be having fun on a personal level, having a tag team partner like that.
Absolutely. Just having someone that thinks the game like I do and then obviously having the ability that Jimmy does, it's incredible. Him coming up with the block at the end of the game. He pointed straight to me. He said, I got you. I can do it too. So just having another guy like that to where you don't feel like you need to have to cover up everything. It's amazing. Lucky to have Jimmy here. He's helped take my game to another level, and I'm excited about it.
And talk about offensively for you guys. There was a really good ball screen play. Steph set one early in the game. Obviously, prayers up to Steph, first of all, for Steph. But the screening, you guys celebrating screening throughout the game. Obviously, offensively, kind of stagnant a little bit. But what are you looking for offensively with some of the screens getting Jimmy Butler angles and you angles to the rim?
Well, they're top blocking. They're top blocking everything with Steph, which removes a defender. So if he gets a screen, it turns into a double screen. So it's just my job to make sure I run my man off of him tight so I can turn the corner. And then Jimmy, we want to get screens to get him downhill. There's not many players in the league that's as good getting downhill as Jimmy. And then also making the plays, whether he's getting downhill to score, whether he's getting downhill making the plays for other people, it's great. So we need to continue to apply that pressure on the rim. And, having Jimmy, it makes it a lot easier for us.
Hey, Draymond, you're always so generous with your time, man. Thanks for stopping. We really appreciate it.
All right, thanks for having me, fellas.
All right, Draymond Green, 6-1 homestand. Draymond goes for 21 points. The defensive plays at the end by a bunch of different Warriors. The health of Steph Curry becomes paramount, and now it's time to go on the road for 6 straight. We'll talk to you from Atlanta.
All right, Draymond Green with his third 20-point game of the season and a season-high tying 5 made threes. He goes 5 of 14, and in the first half, the Warriors were really shooting the three ball well. Quentin posted Draymond Green 14 made threes. But in the second half, things got a bit sloppy, especially in that third quarter. But the Warriors tightened up the defense in the fourth quarter to get the win and complete a 6-1 homestand. 5th time they've done that in franchise history, which was very important tonight, Fezzi.
Well, this is a very ugly win. But you take a win. At this point in the season, you're just trying to climb up the ranks, Bonte, and especially after losing Steph. I got to give the Warriors a lot of credit to be able to still grit it in and find a way to get this win. Defensively, at the end of the game, they found ways to get stops. Emmanuel quickly was going crazy, coming off of ball screens, getting into the paint, finishing over the bigs. Big block by Jimmy Butler at the end of the game. Big steal by Moses Moody. I mean, just collectively, you can feel good about this performance down the stretch.
It's a gritty win because the Raptors shot 56% from the field, 40 from 3. So offensively, they had it going, but they got timely stops. And Draymond talked about that incredible block by Jimmy Butler. But on the flip side, they win the points off turnovers. The three-point shot was really bailed them out. They made 19 to Toronto's 11. And then once again, the free throw. Yep. They were +7, 22 made free throws. So the hustle points. And again, and finding another way to win without Steph. And also, when you're not on your A game offensively, it's really impressive.
All right, let's pick up the crunch time tape because he got pretty sloppy there in the fourth quarter again. Both teams couldn't buy a basket here, but the Dubs up 3 with 2 minutes of change left. And here's Moses Moody playing the defense right here. Great recovery on the block shot right there, Fezzi.
Great block. Great way to keep him in front of you. Just Moses Moody continues to learn how to use his length. Draymond right here sprinting all the way back after taking a shot. This team, they're finding ways. These are the little seams that Draymond was talking about. If you're talking about going to the playoffs, these little plays matter.
And these plays add up, Bonte. That's why they won the points off turnovers, 30-18. You take advantage of Toronto's turnovers to go down and score a bucket or get to the free throw line.
And there's a block by Jimmy Butler there.
Yeah, big fella.
In the fourth quarter, then the Warriors are able to make their free throws down the stretch. Look at that.
Okay, great job by Pods chasing him down. That's the only way you get him into that tough position. But Jimmy, he is so fundamentally sound defensively. Being right there in the dunker position, that is the big man spot. And he's able to get there, get to the block shot, and just great timing, great awareness. I mean, you don't ever see a block this beautiful in the NBA game.
Well, I think it's a great example, too. Pods did get beat, but he forced Shed to his left hand. Butler knew exactly where he was going, and Jimmy Butler could time when he left Pirtle's body to go get that block. And fundamentally sound, an incredible athletic play. That was a big-time block.
No, hey, and the block that may have changed the game, we didn't even show it. Quentin Post in the third quarter with the Dubs down 7, meeting the Raptors at the rim.
Yes. He said, not in my house. No, not in my house.
But the big news here, we're going to hear from Steve Kerr on the other side as everybody holds their breath for Stephen Curry, who left the game with a pelvic contusion. More on that coming up on Toyota Warriors Post Game Live. We're always tracking for success courtesy of our great friends at MyFitnessPal. Build a double-digit lead, but you got to hold it, right, Fezzy Phil? Warriors built that lead in the first half, but it was nip and tuck the entire second half.
Yeah, can we change that next time to build the lead and keep it the whole time? That would make me feel a lot more comfortable, Bonte.
And give credit to the Raptors role players. They came out and played well off the bench, Mully.
They did, and I thought, their star players quickly and Scotty Barnes set the table for them. Pirtle was good all night. But this was a gutty performance by Toronto.
No doubt about that. And then the turnovers, 15 turnovers tonight. He gave up 18 points off those turnovers, but like you mentioned, Bully, plus 12 in that category. So you want to take better care of the ball, but they were able to convert Toronto's turnovers as the Raptors committed 23.
So 9 turnovers in the first half and 6 in the second half. So the Warriors did a better job, got better as the game went along, especially after Steph went out the game. When Steph went out the game, the Warriors they got a little tighter with their offense, try to find ways to get Jimmy going downhill. That's how you're going to get success with just Jimmy in the lineup right now as the leader.
And with those turnovers, the Warriors get 12 more field goal attempts. So the Warriors struggled to make, a high percentage of their shots, but they got more field goals on shots on goal. 30 assists, 38 made field goals, but 19 of them being threes. And that was the real difference, the points off turnovers and the made threes.
And then Draymond Green set the tone from the three-point line. And, Mully, you just mentioned this, that in the playoffs, teams like OKC, Denver, the Lakers, the Clippers, Draymond Green, Moses Moody, Gary Payton II, they're going to have these shots presented to them. They have to take these shots, right, Fezzy Phil?
Bonte, say that again. Draymond did what from the three-point line?
He went 5 of 14.
He set the tone?
Set the tone for the three-point line. 10 points in the first quarter.
Listen, if you're going to dare me to shoot the three, and Draymond keeps making it like this, the Warriors can go as far as they want to go. And right now, he's really making the defense pay. You saw him going back and forth with the coach for the Toronto Raptors. The Toronto Raptors coach says, keep shooting. And Draymond kept shooting and he kept making it.
Yeah, I think this is really important, Bonte, because like you said, most teams, especially like a team like Memphis, they're going to throw a full-out boxing one on Steph. And in order to make their defense change their strategy, other players have to step up. Tonight, 6 plays in double figures. Some of these shots will be there every night. We heard Steve Kerr last week talking about GP2. Those shots are going to be there for him. They're going to be there for Draymond and Moses Moody. It's important that they have the confidence to knock down these shots come playoff time, because in a playoff series, you can make a team change their strategy.
Well, that was a season-high tying 5 made threes for Draymond Green, a career-high tying in terms of three-point attempts. He took 18 field goal attempts.
Shoot that thing,
Let it fly, right?
But that's the whole point, right? The defensive scheme is to get the ball away from Jimmy Butler. Don't let him get to the paint, and take the ball away from Steph. Make everybody else beat you. And Draymond Green, Quentin Post, Brandon Pajemski, all these guys, they have to hit these shots so Jimmy Butler and Steph Curry can get open later in the game.
All right, let's check out tonight's Toyota poll question of the day. We asked all the fans out there watching at home, scan that QR code. Who is the best defensive player in the NBA? I'm actually stunned that Draymond Green only got 81% of the vote. Wemby gets 14%. Dyson Daniels, too. We're going to see him Saturday against the Atlanta Hawks. And then Evan Mobley, who's the favorite to win the DPOI, only received 3% of the vote, Fezzy Bell.
Bonte, this is a great list, all right? But I guess the Warriors fans get to watch Draymond Green every night. So, of course, yeah, this is a little, voter bias.
It's actually down to 2 people. It's Draymond and Mobley. That's what the defense play year will be. Mobley being on one of the best teams in the league may have an advantage. But I'll tell you what, Draymond's making a huge push.
Right now,
and
yes.
Tonight, if he plays like he did tonight, he'll go for MVP.
That's twice in 1 week where Draymond led the team in scoring.
No doubt.
I can get used to this.
No, you can't get used to it.
I love it.
Remember that? He had led the team in scoring 6 games, 7 of the NBA.
Why are you
saying,
bringing this up? This had nothing to do with
I try to stop
Bonte.
myself. I try to stop. Let's just move on to pods. Sorry, Fezzy. Don't beat me up later, man. Brandon Pajemski. How about him? He's come back after missing 5 games with the back injury. 15 points tonight. And he was letting it fly in the first half as well. Mully, decisive, played with a great pace. Pods has come back and returned like he's never lost time.
No, he looks as good as ever. I love his decision-making. When they go on, he's confident to make that 3. I think he's getting by his man decisively. 1-2 dribbles. It's a big-time shot here. Really good night for Pods.
I just love the fact that he's healthy, right? For him, he struggled a couple times this season, once with his back, earlier in the season. So with that, sometimes, you get a little nervous when you come back, trying to figure out if the movement, if going to the paint, moving like he does, you try to figure out if that's going to be okay with each move. And so far he looks healthy, making threes from the 3-point line. When you're rehabbing, you hate rehabbing because all you do is the same thing every day. You're in the gym by yourself shooting all the time, but for Pods, it's really paid off.
I think we could say Pods is all the way back. So we saw him dive for a loose ball. He took a charge, so he's all the way back.
7 to 14.
You love it, huh?
Yes.
You love it?
Yes.
You ready to take
He's
a charge,
back.
Willie? 7 to 14 from the 3-point line and back in the 2 games since he's returned in the lineup. Then we get to Jonathan Kuminga. Jonathan Kuminga, sports talk radio shows, the media, Twitterits, you name it. He's been getting crushed a little bit, right? This is his 5th game since missing 31 games. Came off the bench with 16 points, 7 to 15 from the floor. 1 to 5 for the 3-point shot. I know the Dubs don't want him to shoot that many threes. Want him to be a bit more selective, but 3 assists, 2 steals. Not a bad night for J.K., Willie.
Solid performance. And Bonte, I think when you look at his shot selection, you have to watch the game. You can't just say he's 1 for 5. That's a perfect 3-point shot.
Yeah.
Late shot clock, draw and kick, you let that one fly. With Jonathan, I always look, when is he attacking? First time he touches the ball, or is it move around the horn, switch sides of the floor, then you attack. So I thought tonight a solid performance, still coming back off that injury. And we mentioned pregame. Pods had played with Jimmy Butler and went to the injury list and came back. When Jonathan left 30 games ago, Jimmy Butler was not here. So he's coming back to an entirely different team. It's going to take a little time to adjust, but make no bones about it. They need this guy to make a deep playoff run.
Especially right now, with Steph Curry being out, Jonathan Kuminga is the other scoring punch that you need for the Warriors. His ability to get to the rim, that's going to be important because right now, if Jimmy Butler goes to the bench, he is the next best guy that can get into the paint. He's still getting his rhythm, yes, after losing some time with the injury. But Jonathan Kuminga, you can see tonight, he's starting to figure out some things, some spaces, some seams that he can drive into. Playing next to Jimmy Butler, both of them together are going to be a heck of a duo when they figure out how to play off of each other.
But I just think it's an encouraging win because I mentioned earlier, Toronto shoots 56 from the field, 42 from 3. You kind of struggle from the field. You shoot 42%, but you find another way to win. You don't have to rely exclusively on your offense. They got big-time defensive plays at key times. And I thought down the stretch, offensively, they've got a lot of confidence in their half-court execution because of Jimmy Butler.
Also lost a fast break category, 14-5 tonight against the younger Toronto Raptors. But speaking of a young man, Quentin Pulse, how about him? He's letting that thing fly tonight. He had a big block shot towards the end of the 3rd quarter when the Dubs were down 7, 90-83. Quentin Pulse off the bench, 6 of 10. All 6 of his made field goals from the 3-point line. Even had a heat check 3 after missing 2 in a row in the 1st quarter. But this is what he can do, Fezzi Fell, and it looks good leaving his hands.
Man, it looks so good when he shoots the basketball. A 7-footer right there. Every time he gets a shot, it feels like he's just so confident as the games go along. One of them being a heat check there in the 2nd quarter. He takes one from deep, but you feel good.
Get out of here!
Give me that. Now you see the defensive possessions from him too. I love that for QP.
I wouldn't say the 2 highest jumpers in the league, but I'm just saying.
You have anything you want to add to that, Mummy?
No, I love Post. One, he's a dynamic shooter, but most importantly, he knows how to get himself open. He knows the spacing, so his 3-point shot's beautiful, but he's more than that. He can pass. He can block shots at the top of the box.
Below the box.
That was a great block.
It was a great block.
Yeah.
But you go ahead and say it, man.
That was like me blocking you.
Don't disrespect Post like that, because I can't touch that, bully. Come on, man. All right, let's hear from Steve Kerr. Obviously, we want to hear about Stephen Curry's pelvic contusion. Well, here's a head coach of the Warriors presented by BMW.
You have a status update on Steph?
He's getting an MRI right now. He just kind of fell pelvic, tailbone area. So he was trying to come back. He thought he might be able to come back, and we just decided not to risk anything. And so hopefully it's not bad, but he's getting imaging right now.
He had a similar injury. You probably remember a
couple years ago. Yeah.
Have you talked to him at all?
I have not seen him. He's by the time we got down there, he was already gone getting the imaging.
Gotcha. When you say he wanted to come back in, like after he went back to the locker room,
he went down into the training room with Rick, and Mike just told me just now that Steph thought he'd be okay to come back in, and the decision was made not to risk it.
Steve, after a situation like that, when it initially happens. What is your message to the team over the rest of the game and then obviously post-game?
I didn't even mention it. I mean, there's no time. I think it was late third when it happened, or mid third. So the team knows what's up. You know, he's gonna go down and get checked out, and you just keep playing. So I didn't say anything.
Once Steph went out, I think Jimmy Butler got a lot more aggressive. I was wondering, kind of piggybacking off what Monty asked, was that something you had to tell Jimmy, hey, be more aggressive, or was that just he understood the moment?
Nope. He just understands the situation, and he wants the ball, and he asks for it in different areas and attacks. And, he did a fantastic job. His shot wasn't going tonight, but, he was creating everything for us. Triple-double, obviously. The defensive play of the game with the block shot at the rim. So it's the beauty of guys like Jimmy, Draymond, they can impact the game at such a high level regardless of what's happening with their offensive games.